Engine on.
Engine on.
Engine on. Engine 3, 2, 1, piss!
Piss! Welcome back to the Humanities, and welcome back to my friend Patrick, who I haven't spoken to in 67 years.
Yes, I am now collecting my pension.
You've bought a new telly.
I have bought a new telly.
Tell me about it, because the last time we spoke about this sort of stuff, I'm sure we were talking about, it might have been either broaching the Xbox One S or the Neo,
so. Mm-hmm.
and the Neo, and you were like, oh, 4K tellies are expensive. I was like, they're not really at the minute. They're surprisingly not, because normally the next step in technology is sort of quite a jump away. And you were like, oh, really? Because you went into that sort of
yes,
sort of boundary.
Cool. Cheers for putting me on blast right at the start of the show. Good start.
Well, I'm straight into it. We haven't spoken for ages, and I just thought I'd leap in, feet first, special wellies, comfy slippers.
Well, about that, if at some point in the show you hear a doorbell go and I have to go back in a second, that's because the new TV is turning up.
Cool.
Because it turns out with Argos, when you pay £3.95, they will bring you your stuff.
Are you on the skim?
On the day.
Are you getting this telly free for an Argos advert for our prestigious and largely listened to podcast?
This is a brand deal. Argos, Argos, Argos. See, every time I say that, they give me £100.
Really?
Yeah, Argos. See, look, I'm making money. If the doorbell goes, I have to run and get it, and we'll put in like some twiddly music, and then I will tell you about it when it turns up. But basically,
the thing that I don't understand about regular tellies now, because mine's probably about five years old, maybe more.
Yeah, same here.
Is that mine's got 4 HDMI sockets, and I still kind of have to swap one or two of them out. It's amazing how many tellies have just got like one or two.
Yeah.
Which would drive me up the wall, mate.
Well, most people aren't mad bastards who have 19 games consoles. So
this is true.
Most people just need a Virgin box and the DVD.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Why are DVDs still being sold?
I have no idea. Like they sell in my shop because I'm a charity shop and I sell them for like £1. But
I understand when you're getting a DVD for the kids. Oh, I got Ratatouille for our Janice. On DVD. It's not DVD, it's DVD. But I don't know.
Yeah, like Blu-rays maybe, but like I don't understand how HMV can still have so many DVDs. Is it maybe another world? Are we advancing technology faster than people can keep up with it?
It's a whole new world.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
There's a But a lot of the time, Blu-rays aren't that much more expensive than DVDs. A lot of the time, like on offers like HMV, doing sort of like 6 older sort of Blu-rays for like £30, 5 or 6, something like that, which is a reasonable deal. But you look at the DVD versions of stuff, not really that much cheaper.
And in the world of Netflix, like an Amazon Video, like you can find not everything, but enough to keep you busy if you just fancy to watch a film. You know, you don't want something specific. I think it's fine.
I think from a film nerd's perspective, I quite like DVD commentaries. I mentioned this in the past. I'd gone back to Amazon Love Film. Remember that? To listen to the odd commentary and to get some quirkier films that aren't on the streaming services, and I've enjoyed going back to that. But I do love a commentary, and if there's a film that I've streamed and I really like it, and there's a commentary on the disc, that for me is worth getting. But sorry, that's a huge aside from you and your telliness.
My new box. We decided that our telly's on the way out. Like the middle of it's getting a bit. You know when like it gets a little bit pink. Like
I'm not going to be able to see this on my own now, am I?
On the bright areas, it was starting to get a little bit burnt in, a little bit pink in the middle. So when like the screen would go quite bright, because we watch a lot of anime, and often the screen would be like a huge face, and you'll see just like a pink, scratchy, noisy. Not too bad, but like it's there. Yeah. And it's like, this is going. And we looked around in the shops the other day, and Laura sat down and looked at a few up, and we kind of chucked some ideas between us. Basically, the choice ended up being between a 50-inch telly with the 4K and all that nonsense for about 430 quid, or a 43-inch telly, which was 400 quid, which was a bit cheaper, 7 less inches, but it's got that ambilight thing on it.
What is that?
Well, that it's basically where you can put it on so that you have little lights around the edge of the telly, and they will glow with a colour that's similar to what's on the screen. They kind of blend in if you're trying to watch the telly in like, a darker environment, and it makes the back of the wall kind of like almost blend into the telly.
What?
With light.
It shines a light on the back of the wall.
Yeah.
Because at this point, when you mentioned the two different prices for sizes, I was like, what?
Well, initially I said 30 quid for an extra 7 inches. Why are we even discussing this?
That sounds like the title of your autobiography.
Bum bum.
Hey,
hey,
easy.
Bit of blue.
Have you got your clown's car horn boob implant sorted then? I never get upset again. There was that thing with somebody had an applause MP3 that they had on a Vine, I think, on Twitter, and they said like they felt infinitely better if everything they did they just played this applause MP3, like sitting there with a cup of coffee. Oh, I've got a cup of coffee this morning. Woo!
I love it.
Very much. Yeah, continue.
But yeah, I was kind of sitting on the 50-inch row. I was like, yeah, we'll get that. And we started looking at the measurements. Shut it. We started looking at the measurements and trying to work out how it would fit on the TV stand. I was like, well, it will just about fit. It's quite big. It might not the PS4. It might relegate the PS4 like to underneath the TV stand because we've got like an IKEA square thing and it sits on top of the TV at the moment. It might relegate it. I was like, 50 inch. We started looking at some of the reviews as well, and they were okay. They weren't brilliant, but they were okay. A lot of them were saying like, oh, it's problems with the colour. It's a little bit blurry. Blah blah blah. I was like, well, you look at the like Laura did. She put the negative reviews first. Read them with a pinch of salt. See if something keeps coming up. Because like one person will write, oh, it's the worst telly ever because they got a broken one. It happens. So I looked at that and I was like going, maybe, and then flicked back to the smaller one, and it's like, oh, the review seemed a lot more consistently good. And looking at the sort of size of room we've got, we sort of sized up the TV and looked at where we sit, and like, to be honest, I can see the TV fine. I don't squint for text except when I'm playing something like The Witcher, which has very small text anyway, but that's fine. That's whatever. Most games I can sit there and I don't have to kind of squint or anything. So the size of the TV was fine. We've got a 42-inch at the moment. So a 43-inch is basically the same. It's actually going to take up less room because it's got a much thinner like edge to it than my current TV. And yeah, it's got this ambilight nonsense, which initially, my friend Sean, Sean, friend of the show, Sean, my friend Sean has one, and whenever I go to his house, he has it on, and I always lambast him for it. I'm like, you don't need that. What's all this glowy nonsense? He's got a light bulb that does it as well. I was like, you don't need this. And now I've kind of got it coming. I'm like, yeah, all right.
So it selects the colour?
I think so. You can turn it off as well. I don't know, on the next show I will tell you. But it's got this ambilight stuff that I think is set to default to kind of work off what's on the TV. So if you're watching like The Incredible Hulk, it'll be a bit green, Or if you're playing like a Call of Duty game, it'll just be like brown and grey and brown. But yeah, it seems cool. But I will give you the full review the next time we do one of these because it's turning up in the next 2 hours. So I will run away when the doorbell goes and I will shout. But yeah, a new TV, and it turns out because Argos is brilliant, we placed the order at 4:00. It's like, do you want it today? Like, yes.
Sweet.
For £3.95, that's worth it. Like, okay, between 7 and 10, sold.
With regards to reviews, and I think this is actually from Argos as well, so it ties in. This was something that I saw and saved off last week, which was, chair is comfortable. The chair fits me like a glove, no more backache. My husband says it would not be okay for him. He is taller and bigger than me, but he doesn't have to sit on it. Great chair for me.
Wow. Jesus.
I love that.
That's like those one-star reviews where someone orders it and it's like, ordered the wrong book. It's like, what?
There was one that I did a Google search the other day and somebody had reviewed somewhere like Amazon or Tesco or something, and this review that somebody put on was some great bargains to be found here.
Wow. For Amazon.
Yep.
Oh.
With you saying about different colours on the wall, right? Last week, I was getting ready to record with Kane and Rince for their Kick-Off podcast, which has just come out. And
did it all kick off?
It literally did all kick off.
Nice.
Because I got my mock pot, I put it on the stove, I was getting ready, and I heard this bang. I was like, what? Did something fall off or what? And then I went into the kitchen, and literally the mock pot exploded, and coffee had flown all over the cupboards, the ceiling, the walls, and we've got quite high ceilings in there as well, so I can't actually get to reach it. So my kitchen genuinely looks like some sort of soot creature has exploded. And whilst I'm off in a couple of weeks to I'm gonna like redecorate the flat anyway. That was my version of Ambilight.
Nice.
And this was on the same day where I was quite excited because I got really, really old iPod, and it was full of all my old band demos and music that I listened to when I made music. And I was like, well, I could get a new one, but it'd be quite nice to bring this back from the dad. So I ordered this, I ordered the battery for it, and I didn't realise the battery was coming from the States, and I had to do that sort of thing. When you're looking on YouTube to try and figure out how to fit the thing, and all Apple have got their strange deadlocks on the battery and all that kind of thing. So I got the battery in, and it was working, and I saw the screen come up again, and I was like, oh, it's great. Like, my heart absolutely rose. And then I tried to get the back on it, and the battery, the back of it just wasn't going on. And I squeezed it, and all the liquid crystal cracked on the front.
No.
I died. I'm literally, my heart just fell in my chest. And it was this series of sort of little events that happened last Sunday, which really broke me. There was that, then the coffee pot thing happened, and then later that night, I sort of killed, because I would sleep on the couch. I don't sleep in bed. I find it difficult. But I was sleeping on the couch, and I just thought, what's that on my leg? That's quite cold. And I woke up, and there was a slug on my leg.
Oh!
It literally, because I'm on the ground floor. I'm glad this isn't just me.
No!
It literally gone up the side of the chair, gone onto the duvet that I was lying on, onto my leg, and was part way up my car. And I just went like this kind of like this sort of strange noise, and hit it, and then didn't know where it was. And then it was on the side of the coffee table, just looking at me, and I just got this fucking slime on my leg as I was then trying to find a glass to put it into, so I could then take it out of the bathroom and sort of drop it out the window, but also hoping that it didn't go somewhere else, like in the meantime. And all of this was in this kind of bleary-eyed early morning. And I got the light on, which probably made it a little bit easier. I'd fallen asleep with the light on. And I don't know if that made it better or worse, that I could definitely identify that I had a slug on my leg.
My legs are shaking.
Right, I'm gonna add to this now. Probably not with the same level of gravitas, but yesterday was the Saturday of the bank holiday in the UK, and we had a standing manager who was a bit pump, and things were a bit stressful, and it was a long shift. It was pretty horrible for the majority of that. And there was one point where I was going around, sort of tidying up the cafe and stuff, and this old woman went, who's a regular, who went like, I grabbed these mugs, and she was like, oh, can you take these, Doc? And so I was like, yeah. And I grabbed these tissues, and then I noticed that she got a little pile of tissues into the corner, and as I grabbed these tissues, I noticed the tissues were warm, and then she coughed into the other tissues. And I was just thought, you Stanky went.
You animal!
Just like went back behind the back of house and just stood there with like a biosanitizing gun, just like.
Oh. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if I do have to remove that hand and replace it with a robot hand, I will use it for evil.
Oh crap! Like I thought I had it bad, like picking through like old pants upstairs in our back room. We were getting rid of all our clothes the other day, like just old people's old pants, but like liquid.
You're talking at work, not
at work. Sorry, at work. My house isn't minging. At work, like we got rid of like 200 bags of clothes because we don't sell them.
We have had it in the past where because we do reusable cups at work, and if somebody brings one in or brings their own flask in and stuff, they get 25p off the drink. And somebody brought one in, and I went to open it to put something into it, and it was literally lined with mold.
Oh, like you still have to wash it.
Yeah.
People are disgusting.
People are bizarre.
Fuck people, man. Fuck people. On a slight side note, though, in completely non-fuck people news, before we get going, I thought I'd better mention this before I forgot about it. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that popped along to my stream the other week. We raised like 250 quid in the end, thanks to some external donations, not from the site. I had a really good time, and I will be continuing it soon. So thank you everyone for watching me die. 44 times was the official count. My One Bro Dark Souls stream I did.
That is Twin Humanities news, and you've crossed the border that you shouldn't have crossed at this
Streams.
point. We will bring up more of this in Twin Humanities.
Yes.
Your cursed ginger man.
But I just thought I'd mention it because we haven't done anything since that. So thanks everyone. Ching! I'm holding up my tea. You can't see it.
Have you got any other news before we move on? Any dregs of humanity to mention?
I've started painting miniatures.
Yeah, why? I know you're quite bored gamey.
I am. I'm very boring gamey. Thank you. Well, okay, so 2 years ago, when we were on honeymoon in Germany, we went to a cool little game shop where we bought the bombshell Harley Quinn statue. I put some pictures on Facebook before and Twitter and stuff, but it was a really cool statue. But I bought a Judge Dredd miniature game there as well, like a skirmishy, kind of 6-on-6 tabletop war game, like your Warhammer type thing, but with Judge Dredd punks and juves and spugs, and it's been the longest time. And when you get like an Airfix kit and it's all in bits, it's like that. So you've got like a big couple of sheets of plastic with lots of little heads and lots of little torsos and tons of teeny tiny little weapons that are like 4mm long, like really tiny little weapons. And since I had a week off last week, I thought, you know what, I've got time now. I feel like it. I'm going to glue these things together finally. So I sat there and I spent maybe, I'd say, a day or two? Just sitting in the front room with my little glue, my little poly glue, with a little metal tube on the end so it comes out tiny.
Listening to podcasts.
I did, actually, yes. I kind of banging through the backlog a bit. Putting little gluey men together. I've made my squads now. They've only fallen apart, like 3 or 4. 3 or 4 of them are falling apart so far, so I've had to re-glue them. Because turns out, having big stumpy man fingers and trying to glue tiny heads to tiny bodies is not really easy.
Did you find it was difficult with that bicep that you've made since working?
I have. What I did was, as I was putting the head on, something would sort of flash in the corner of my eyesight, and just reflexively I'd go, "Gah!" and the head would fly off in a different direction because I'm just so tough.
Just had to make sure you used the different hand.
Yeah. By the way, 35 push-ups in a row now. Get on my level, scrub. Get on my level.
You've been talking about is it something like DDR yoga or something like that? Because when I saw you say it, I was like, really?
Martin Charlton was putting me onto that. He's been doing it apparently, and it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really helped him out, and it's it's really good for you. It's well put together, from what I understand. DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, was an old wrestler, yeah. And he does a yoga thing, and he's kind of like diet tips and stuff. And if you want more help, ask Martin Charlton on Twitter. He will tell you lots of things.
Because I've been watching lots of Joe Rogan podcasts, and that's been mentioned a few times on there with because they have wrestlers and MMA fighters and stuff like that on there. God, God, there's been so many great conversations that I've been privy to. Just two people like talking to each other, and I can watch it for like 2.5 hours and still be entertained. There was one guy who was, he was a surfer, and he said that he went to school with this lad that was even at school was like really, really built. And this lad was out surfing at one point, and this great white came out of the water and bit into the side of him, and pulled him under the water, and this lad was punching the fuck out of the shark as it pulled him under, literally eye in front of him, and he's like smacking into the shark, and it let him go, and he had to have 200 to 300 stitches in his side. But he got beyond it, and he was also on about this. There was a girl again. I think he went to school with that was surfing. A great white just came out of the water and just took her right on, just instantly. I think she's become quite famous with regards to getting back into surfing and sort of modelling and things like that. But there were all these kind of amazing stories where you're like, no. There was, because this same guy really liked hunting, and he was talking about that a lot of people don't realise that a lot of the environments where people go out to hunt, it's the hunters that will put money into keeping that environment, you know, actually keeping the ecosystem going. And he was saying how it's a fascination of his, and growing up in Hawaii and being one with like the water, and you know, just literally if you're hungry you go down and you get some fish. That's just what you do.
Yeah.
And he told this story about there was a bloke who took his son out hunting for the first time, and his son's got this rifle that's pointing at this elk, and a grizzly bear comes running out of the corner of the forest, like towards him, and the dad picks up this bow and arrow, pulls it back, shoots the bear, like with the bow and arrow, and the bear falls on the boy and dies. And like this is the boy's first experience of hunting, and they got like pictures of the kid, and he's just like head to toe covered in blood. It looks like something out of Bloodborne.
Wow.
I was like, no. But there was like loads and loads of stuff like this. There was and it's a lot of it's dependent on who they've got on, because they've got they'll have comedians and sportsmen and that kind of stuff. But really, really watchable stuff. And the one that I was watching the other day was Louis Theroux talking about a film that he'd done
cool.
About Scientology, which was really fascinating. But the honestly, I've super gotten into them, and also the way that it challenges ideas as well. Like he's, so I think Twitter can be a lot of knee jerk and people blocking without decent conversation going on. And I know there was one point on the show where Joe Rogan said, there's people that I really get on with who've got massively different views from me. And you know, when we talk about politics or sexism, or we talk about whatever it might be, it's stuff that we just don't disagree with. We don't agree with, but it doesn't mean I don't like them as people. And I think that to me where kind of the Twitter ecosystem is really toxic in that regard. That if somebody's got a different opinion to you, a lot of the time people can just be pushed away and blocked, and you're just talking to the same people that share your opinions. And I don't know, I like that worldview. Because oh god, there's also this bit where and this was on Joe Rogan's Twitter feed. It was a link to it that Chicago University has sent out a letter to all students and all prospective students talking about the year ahead. And last year they put out, before lectures and things like that, they would put out trigger warnings. Right. Saying of the different topics that would be held in the lecture, or books that would be listened to. They were turning away speakers from giving lectures because they thought they might be too dangerous, or their opinions might be too harmful. And they even set up a room full of bubbles and videos of puppies playing. So if students wanted a safe space free of ideas,
Well,
they could go to there. And basically, Chicago University have just reneged on all of this. They were like, we think it's healthy that people challenge their perspective and their viewpoint, and it's okay to be angry about things. It's okay to be saddened by things. We want you to experience this. This is what comes from learning, from being at a university, from growing richer. But now I'm in this sort of strange space where I quite like the thought of having a room filmed with like videos of puppies and bubbles, and have requested one at work, but I don't know how well that will go down. It might even purely be from a space point of view, but everybody seems to be in agreement we should have one.
Serving the drinks might be a bit more difficult in that room.
I don't know, it'd be quite fun.
Ball pit room.
Yeah, but can you believe that? But it's loads of little bits like that, and I just find him like stupendously entertaining. I like stuff like that, but it's a good podcast, so check out Joe Rogan.
Well, I like the whole stories about animals, attacking people. Because I mean, is this why you've told the slug story? Is this like an attempt to copy?
That's the worst thing, isn't it? I should just have leapt straight to that and like, where's my bubble puppy room? Or can you imagine like that guy's going like, yeah, I went to school with this guy. He's really built, and this great white bit into him, and he was punching the great white, and there's this girl that I knew, and she had an arm removed by great white, and in hunting there was a guy, and he took his son out for the first time, and the child had a rifle point on an elk, and a grizzly bear came tearing out of the forest, and the dad picked up a bow and an arrow, and he shot the bear, and he died on the boy. The boy was covered in blood. Never mind that, right? I was asleep. And I was like, that's really cold. And he was like, what was it? It's a slug on my leg. Fuck's sake, dude! Where's my room with the puppies? I need my bubbles. But it does. I hadn't put two and two together with my seemingly shite foreshadowing.
It was an excellent segue.
So, I suppose we're going to talk about other stuff. Did you watch, speaking of podcasts, did you watch that Easy Allies podcast?
No.
Oh, come on, you've been painting miniatures.
Look, I've been listening to stuff. I've not been watching stuff. I've been listening, and I've been watching YouTube videos on how to paint because I don't get it. I've been base coating the last couple of days, and it turns out, first time I tried it, I cocked it right up.
Okay.
I did it again. I stuck my miniatures with blue tack to the top of a bottle. And then I sprayed them from a distance, and now they're much better covered. So I'm going to start painting them tomorrow with actual colours. So my YouTube recommendations are now fucked again because it's all Warhammer painting tutorials. Okay. I've ruined it. So sorry, I haven't listened yet because I've been a busy wee boy. Continue.
Right. Well, one of the things that was in this particular Easy Allies podcast was they were talking about next week's or the week after's PlayStation meeting announcement thing, where it's believed that the Neo's going to be there, the Slim's going to be there. I wonder what that's like.
I wonder what it's going to look like.
Yeah. And also the most mysterious one is that things have been seen with regards to a new Vita chip.
Okay.
Which everybody's gone kind of, why? I can't really imagine Sony sort of treading that ground again.
I'd rather we had more Vita games.
Yeah. Well, what? What do you make of to sort of to moonwalk backwards? What do you make of the Slim first?
I think that the new power button is pandering. I think they've caved. They've caved to Twitter being awful. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that tweet or that article coming out. I don't know which one of the PS4 buttons is on and which one is eject. It's been 2 years. It is not hard. The top one is on, the bottom one is disc. Use your controller. Now they've got 2 big ugly buttons. No, it was lovely. You couldn't see them. They were divine. They were really good. And they've got 2 big ugly buttons there. Rubbish. Don't cave.
Because it's not. It doesn't seem to be that much smaller than the...
I think it's shorter, but it's the same width, from what I understand. It's roughly the same like footprint, but it's just not as tall. And was that a problem?
And there's
it's not big either. It's small. It's just like a cake.
There's a new dual shock, isn't there, with
a light on the front, which I don't.
I think it from what I can tell, it's actually just a hole in the top of it that shows
nice
the light bar underneath it. Well played.
Well, that's good because then you can see, like, when you're playing a game that utilises the light bar on the back. Like, I never see that because it's pointing away from me. How am I supposed to see that? Like certain games, like I think The Witcher, it glows different colours depending on if you're doing different things, or like games where it glows red if you're in low health and glows green when you're okay.
I quite like that. I'd be interested to see if they've if there's improvements on battery life and kind of stick rubber and all that kind of stuff. Although somebody did say on one, I think I was looking through M4G and somebody said, Sony, where is my Elite controller? And I agree with them. It's about time that the PlayStation 4 had something a little bit more voluptuous. No, it's.
I know you love yours, but I don't need one.
Yeah, you've got 4.
I know, and they're fine.
You've already spent £100 actually more than that, isn't it?
I got 2 with the PS4. I got the extra one with the machine, and I bought the other 2 after the wedding, I think.
Yeah,
because of Towerfall, and that was money well spent.
Yeah, so you can't really say anything. I would never buy a £120 controller. Like just like,
yeah, but I've got 4.
just shoving those controllers off the end of the couch,
swimming through them like a ball pit.
Yeah. What was that? Oh, nothing.
It's my other 3 controllers. Shut up.
So, because the Slim has gotten rid of a couple of the ports, hasn't
optical
it?
port has gone, isn't it? Yeah. Which is, I used to have my PS3 plugged in optical to my surround sound system. It was okay.
No, I did, yeah.
Yeah, but like, I haven't really felt the need to. But then I'm sure there's plenty of people who do, and that's probably a bit of a weird omission. But then isn't everything HDMI these days, though?
Well, I presume they would be able to tell who was using that sort of thing and who wasn't. So maybe just the uptake wasn't that great in of itself anymore.
Yeah, but I'm sure we'll be told. I'm sure the internet has reacted with grace and dignity and no hyperbole, no overreaction. I'm sure they've taken the news with great grace. I'm sure they have.
So there's rumours as well that the Neo may be getting an up spec.
Right.
In comparison to, the Scorpio came out and was just, those specs were just bonkers. So yeah, and the rumours are that I've heard is that it's a really chunky, heavy beast, the Neo is, and that there may well be an up spec compared to the controlled leaks that Sony had sort of previously. So that should be interesting.
I'm in the same boat as I am with the Xbox Scorpio thing. It's like cool, but it makes me feel, as a consumer, it makes me feel that my machine I've got right now isn't the good one. And I know I don't have to buy the new one, but I know it's there.
You've got a 4K telly now, which is even more of a swag.
It's true, yeah. After slagging them off, like, who needs a 4K telly? Oh, I've got one now. I wonder if I could plug the Ambilight in to the controller on the back, the light on the back of my controller.
So really interesting.
The telly glows red when I'm in low health.
The whole room is shitting itself when you're playing Alien Isolation.
Oh shit, man! I want that now.
Yeah.
Sony, are you listening? Make this work.
Well, a lot of the stuff that was on that Easy Allies podcast was saying about, in the same way as Sony used the PlayStation 3 to push Blu-ray and PlayStation 2 to push DVD, that the Neo may be used to try and sell 4K tellies because PlayStation is extremely profitable for Sony now, and the rest of Sony kind of isn't. So that I think is a valid point. But they were also saying, like, how would you go about showing the different versions of games? If say, Bloodborne 2 or something, you're showing it running at 60 frames per second, and there's the addendum that the original's going to get a patch, so that's going to be running at 60 frames per second, and look at the resolution jump and stuff. But would you then show Bloodborne 2 running on a regular PS4? Here's the shit version.
Yeah, look at the problem we had with what was it? What was the big one that got really downgraded that everyone really... Watch Dogs, wasn't it? They showed it off and it looked beautiful, and it came out and it's like, oh, it looks all right. Or the classic Aliens Colonial Marines issue. You'd have to show the best one, wouldn't you? I mean, like, on PC game trailers, they don't show you, here's what it looks like on a £400 budget PC. This looks proper good, this, doesn't it? Hey.
Carl Bosman was on about, he says, like, you can imagine a million kids sort of asking for the PlayStation Neo. Like, really, like, underlining the Neo. And he says, if it was my dad and they saw the regular PS4 at the side of the Neo, like, this one's $100 cheaper. Who needs 4K? What's a gigaflop? I don't know. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they show it off as well. Because I'm really looking forward to it, because it's not just going to be the announcements, but there's going to be games there as well. Neo, deep down, still heavily tied into Neo.
Okay.
And I know they said that there would be no Neo exclusive games, but honestly, I don't really believe that.
Yeah, and this is what, like, going forward, this is going to be like a weird half generation almost, isn't it? Like, it's
because I'm playing through. I mean, I've seen people playing Dark Souls 3 on PC, and it looks fantastic. The speed of it, and also having gone back to Dark Souls 2 and sort of seeing it in 60 frames and like 1080, it is quite startling when you look at that again and you go like, "Oh, this is really quick." But if there was a way to play Bloodborne 60 frames per second, I think that game would just... it would really suit the game. And I think that, again, Dark Souls 3, like seeing the way that the PC version is being played, I'd like that. That's a selling point to me. And I'm in for the Scorpio next year, 100%. And I'd probably be in for a Neo as well if it's the same sort of stuff, because essentially it's going to be a little more polish and swagger for your favourite games. And I still sit back from PC stuff and just go, that's an awful lot of arsing about optimizing your system and swapping graphics cards. I like the way of just putting in a disc. And the box just burps out the right sprites.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I
agree. I'm
curious to know where you are as a PlayStation maker. So we discussed this at on the E3 shows, but I think that now you've got a 4K telly, that must have a little extra swagger.
If I buy anything next, and I'm ready for Laura to shout from the other room if she hears me, if I buy anything next, it'll be a VR headset. That's the thing I want next because it's different.
But you've now got 4K telly.
I know, but that's just the future. For me, it's not the seller for it. It's future proofing it. It's like, fine, cool, but I don't need it right now.
What if Sony offered some sort of trade-in option?
I don't know. I really don't know, because it's part of this sort of like almost mobile phone-esque, like tablet-esque marketing system where they just upgrade it once a year, and everyone buys the new one, and that model's always made me sad because I don't have that much money. Like, you don't get like I try and be careful with what I spend all of my money. I can't buy a new iteration of a phone every 6 months to a year, as I know some people do. It's like, how do you afford this?
Well, they were saying that when the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One were released, it wasn't the same technological leap as it was between the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 2. That maybe it was kind of slightly older tech, and obviously things move faster and faster as they go along. But
I'd say in terms of visuals, like, I mean, the jump from PS3 to PS4, or, you know, from last generation to this generation, I don't think it wasn't ever going to look that great. Because, like, I mean, like, from, say, PS1 to PS2, like, you've quadrupled the amount of polygons, and it's really obvious. Same thing when you jump up from 2 to 3, like, you quadruple the polygons, and it was really obvious. And then, I think this time, like, graphics were quite good, I think, on the PS3 360 generation. They were fine, you know, and while it looks extra spangle and extra polished and things look beautiful now, like, I don't think we were going to see a quantum leap in what you could render sort of real time, you know, in terms of, like, pixel density or graphical fidelity. I think we're not approaching a plateau, because that's stupid to say. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that the point we got to with graphical power on the PS3, 360, that sort of generation, was, for my eye, fine. It was fine. Look at games like Last of Us, for instance, or Uncharted 3. Gorgeous. Or Gears of War. They look really, really nice, They look fine. They look brilliant. I don't see visually what was wrong with those. They look brilliant, and I wouldn't probably blink if I saw those same games appear on the PS4. Yes, I know they did remastered HD versions. That's not what I mean. If those exact same games appeared on the PS4, I probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference, really, without looking too hard at both versions. This looks fine.
Okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate and ask you to play devil's advocate and say, if they the PlayStation meeting or whatever they're calling it, if they announce the Neo, they show the specs, they say it's 4K, they show what it can do, and you're still like, it's obviously amazing to watch these things. You get caught up in them the same way as I do. Is there one game that could either be announced or tickled up a notch that would make you go, oh?
I'm thinking, but at the minute, no.
Okay.
Because, my gut check is like a Metal Gear, but the new Metal Gear is a fucking zombie survival game. Kill me now. Kill me now. What a wonderful metaphor for Konami. Kill me. Just end it. Enough. No, I actually honestly can't think of a single game that I think would push me to a Neo.
One of the guys on Easy Allies was like, Death Stranding, Neo exclusive. And everyone just went like, oh yeah.
I suppose, mate. But then I'm gonna put the qualifier
Do
on
not
that.
say that you can resist Kojima like that.
I don't know what that is yet. I still want it, obviously, but I think I'm trying to make a conscious effort to kind of not buy tickets for the hype train this year, because we'll get to some things soon. We'll get to that in a minute. But the hype train inevitably usually lets you down. And I think getting this excited about a trailer and
what? No,
I'm excited about the trailer, but what is it? What is it? What even is it? What is it? Is it a combat game? Is it a story game like what Telltale make? It could be a fucking racing game for all we know. It could be anything.
You're setting yourself up for a fall again, because they're going to be talking about, this is the PlayStation Neo, this is the look of it, this is the 4K, and you're like, man, I'm enjoying the show. It's nice to watch Sony, and then they're like, he's finally, he's deep down. And you're like, oh, cool. I kind of wonder what that was. That looked a little bit like Dragon's Dogma. That would be pretty cool. And then fucking stage parts, and Kojima walks down from the lights or something.
With his X Factor intro again. Dermot O'Leary says, "And welcome to the stage."
And at that point, you're just like, oh, it's like Homer when he was watching that video for Funky See, Funky Do. And The Simpsons, he's like, oh.
I am interested in Death Stranding. Obviously, I'm interested in it because it looks really cool. But I don't know what it is yet. If I know what it is, I'll be able to be more excited. But even then, I don't know if that would be enough to make... I don't think one game is going to do it for me. I don't think any one game would be enough to push me over. It would be a collection of things, because is one game worth 400 quid?
Yeah.
No.
Now, you say, in my version of that, there could be they play a trailer early on, and I'm seeing sort of these battles and people falling, and sort of this strange sort of things going along, and then just seeing the hero of the piece die, and then this darkness, and then all these lights sort of raise up, and I just hear, "Dost thou seek soul power?"
Every fucking time. We cannot do a podcast without you bringing that up.
I can't let it go. I can't let it go.
Time.
I need her back.
Or Dragon's Dogma 2. I thought you were going to go Dragon's Dogma 2 with that.
No.
Ooh, hang on.
What?
Hang on. Ooh.
What?
I see a man outside with a van.
Okay.
It's an Argos van.
Wow, foreshadowing.
Right.
we'll pause here for a moment and we'll regather ourselves in a minute, shall we?
Okay. Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute. My TV's here. Bye.
Bye.
Laura, the TV here. I'm very excited now. Hello. This is brilliant. Who knew you could buy a TV and have it be there within 3 hours? That's stupid. Stay. I'm over the moon. Oh, it's bank holiday. It's a Sunday. Oh, we can still have it today. Okay, fine. Lovely stuff.
Excellent. Enjoy.
Thank you. I will. Cheers. Laura, we got a new TV.
You're that guy that thinks that guy has to work on a bank holiday.
Yep, I'm that dick. I'm so happy I'm going to take off my shirt. Get a flex.
None of that gets cut out.
Hi.
None of it.
I've taken off my shirt and I'm flexing.
You polite son of a bitch.
I have a telly now.
So
The box is so small. I think the box is smaller than my old telly. Like
Okay.
the box of the new telly is less sizable than my actual old telly. That's.
Are you okay continuing with the podcast whilst you stare at Christmas?
I'm just gonna sit here. Just, if you hear a drip, it will be drool.
I'll be making sort of quite poignant points, and you'll be just like, anything to add, Paddy? No. No. Any points, stories of your own? No.
I've got
No.
a new telly. Yes, Laura. Close the fucking door. Sorry, I'm going to close the door and then we can continue. I've been a silly. Back in a second.
Bye.
I'm back again.
You see, if we use that truncated silence thing that the professional podcasters use, it would be like you teleported to the door and back again.
Let me just go shut the door. Door shut.
Hello. So, No Man's Sky then.
Oh yeah. Did you buy it?
I didn't. I was very close to seeing like the early hype, but given that after further counselling, Bloodborne and I are now getting on very well indeed.
Exciting.
I'm shunning like so much stuff, like the BioShock collection I'm now not getting. I didn't get No Man's Sky. Like literally the point that I just want to keep playing Bloodborne.
This is good,
that's it,
and I'm going to quiz you no further in case I ruin it.
No. We'll do
And it's
that
the
on
wrong
other-
show.
Yeah, we'll do that on the other show. But to say that that's got its hooks in me is an understatement. But to the point, I can't remember the last time that I was playing a game where I genuinely just wanted to shun everything to keep going with it. So I know that'll make you happy, and it's been nice that on Twitter when I've mentioned little bits about it, or the stuff on the last Twin Humanities as well, where people seem to be genuinely quite enthused that I've got it, and
I think it was that first time I saw you on the PSN with Bloodborne as you're now playing. I think I just sent you a message saying I fucking see you.
Yeah, although that might have been the second or the third time you'd seen me on it, because once might have been like, oh, they're trying again. It's like you see me in Bloodborne in a restaurant, just like, oh, do you think they're getting on? I don't know. It's quite quiet. He's pouring Bloodborne some wine. That might be blood.
But I did the same thing with Chris from the Chomp Chain podcast. I literally went to check my friends list. It's like, Chris is playing Nier. And I went, you're playing Nier, you fuck. He's like, I just started. Like, what are you, psychic? I was like, I just saw you. Ah!
So tell me about No Man's Sky while I shut my curtains.
Okay, I bought No Man's Sky with money. It turned up and I installed it very, very quickly because it's like 6 gigabytes, which is stupid. But
what made you want it, sir? What made you want it, sir?
It's for the ladies, sir.
Oh my word!
Ooh, sir. I wanted No Man's Sky because No Man's Sky looked like a fun bant in space. I mean, I could go into elaborate words about how it looks full of wonder and mysticism and the sheer amazement of discovery, and like other big long words that people that would write articles would use. But no, for me, it looked like a fun bant in the space where you could fly around and go to a planet and see a really doofy looking alien and laugh at it and maybe shoot it. Like, that's enough for me. And I think for me, I got what I wanted.
Okay,
I think for others,
is
they have not.
How is it? Because I know you quite like your survival stuff. You Don't Starve and your Minecrafts and stuff like that. So did it plug into that?
Yes. Almost certainly yes. Too easy. Yes.
But no, I don't just mean that. Those are the sort of games that you really enjoy, that you're comfortable with. But for a lot of people, they had different expectations, and a lot of those were based on the way that the game was sold.
Well, like I can completely understand people being disappointed. I can completely understand people feeling they didn't get what they thought they were getting. I don't know how much of that is down to the hype train. Because, like, the Reddit verse for No Man's Sky, or the No Man's Sky community, I'm doing air quotes, that seem to be so prevalent up to release, were just taking everything, like, to extremes, you know? And I think it built everyone's expectations up to a point where they could never have done it all.
Yeah, but there was a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously, I'm looking from afar and have no sort of real investment in this other than viewing the drama. But there were aspects that Sean Murray appeared to be like talking about that just weren't in the game, and like vagaries that were in there. And let's not forget that brilliant video with the Jurassic Park theme playing over the trailer. The cut to like that new one with the sort of broken mouth organ, which is really funny.
With a big stupid dinosaur monster walking on its back legs like a doof. Like that works for me. Like, that's what I'm in it for. I want to see the dinosaur goof. I want to laugh at a fun machine. So, like, thing is, I find it quite hard to talk about this because I was ignoring a lot of the marketing stuff. I'd seen the trailers at E3, 2-3 years in a row as we'd all done and gone, oh, that looks really good. And then I just kind of, like, I'd gone on blackout on it almost. I'd be like, yep, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I know I'm getting it. I'm fine. I don't need to know. I don't need to watch every interview. I don't need to watch every trailer that comes out. I'm happy just to buy it and play it and explore. So I can't really speak as to like how the marketing was because I didn't really consume any of it past about the last. I would say I turned off about the last 6 months. I would say like I was like, yep, well I'm getting it. I'm definitely getting it. I'm just going to unplug because I don't want things spoiled, and I'm kind of that way with a lot of games now. Like I've noticed, like with the Dark Souls, with the Metal Gear, Phantom Pain. Like I'm trying to avoid consuming too much trailers and content, and even like videos online of like your IGNs and stuff. Putting out gameplay stuff of it, and trailer breakdowns and all that sort of stuff. Like I don't care. I don't want to know. I'd rather just stumble across stuff. And I'm getting much more enjoyment out of just having a thing and playing it myself than going, oh yeah, well the bit that's going to be this is coming up soon. Oh, that's great. Like no, that doesn't appeal to me at all anymore. Like I wanna get lost and I wanna wander about and I wanna feel like I'm sort of, it's me versus a game. And I think No Man's Sky is doing a good job of that. The complaints you could levy at it, yeah, sure, the planets are all functionally the same. Sure, you do the same things. You run around, you collect stuff, you shoot a couple of space cops every now and again.
You're aware of the loop and you're enjoying the loop.
Yeah, it's a podcast game. It's something I can put on, much like Minecraft, where I just put it on. I can put a couple of podcasts on. I've gone through so many. I'm catching up at a ridiculous speed at the moment. And I can just run about and I can enjoy a planet and I can see what I can find and see what I can make and I can improve my ship or I can improve my guy or get a better gun, learn a few more words of the languages that the aliens speak, which I'm very much enjoying.
Destiny was always like that for me. Like if I had like a couple of hours before work or I just fancied listening to a podcast, I could do the loop in Destiny and get some bounties and just go and do some stuff and listen to people that I like talk about stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd find it quite nice to relax into that. It was very much the comfortable chair of gaming. Yeah. And I don't mean that in a criticism at all, because there's a lot of podcasts that I ended up not listening to. Because there wasn't that constant cycle of, right, I'm going back on Destiny, oh, look, the new Explosive Alan's out. Or, that sort of thing. And I think there's something to be said for that.
Like it's a passive game almost. Like it doesn't require you to be focused 100% all the time. Like something like, for example, Very Doom would ask of you.
But I mean, again, that sounds like
game.
a put down. And I think there's something in Destiny's shooting mechanics that just feels sort of quite buttery smooth within that regard, and it's just fun to like pop people in the heads and
run back to the tower and do your assaulted management stuff. Like it's fine. It's a game you can just do, not in the background, but you know what I mean. You can just play it and you know what you're doing with it, and it feels smooth and the game works.
Or if your soul's in and you're putting a sign down outside the boss gate and you're just trying to earn loads of souls, or going back through Bloodborne and trying to get blood vials in earlier areas and stuff. That's a very comfortable place to be. And sometimes after you've had like really busy days at work and stuff, you don't want to concentrate too hard.
100%.
Because even like a big part of me getting into Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on Wii U was coming home and just going into the online side of it and just joining up with 3 people, like taking down a monster, seeing what I got, and then upgrading my equipment. And then if I did go into my solo game afterwards, I could, I'd probably be a bit more powerful anyway. But I just found that really nice to relax into.
Yeah, and like as relaxing goes, like I mean, No Man's Sky is perfect. It's very like chill. Like you just fly around, find a planet you like, and just wander about and just like enjoy it. Like the one I found the other day, I've been naming a cluster of planets. There's 6 planets in it. I thought I'd name it after our Destiny raid group, our Scorpions. And the planet that belonged to Gav Russell, tight to the nail on Twitter, his planet is the most beautiful planet I think I've been to in the whole game. It's got like these tree branches over everything, like these huge great veins covering this planet. And it's like, this is weird and I love it.
Sadly, no chance to rename it then. It's like, oh, this is about Gav.
Yeah, it's called Lady Gav.
What was the Jeremy Greer planet like? Was that?
It was barren and lifeless.
So it was the worst.
It was the worst. Jeremy Greer is the worst. It was my second planet I named.
What did you make of the stuff that came out yesterday, where they were saying that after 2 weeks, all of your naming stuff gets wiped?
Well, they did. They said that for the animals, but not for the planets, and I think that's probably okay.
Do you think there should be? Because again, I'm looking at this from a distance. Do you think there should be more of a star chart that you can kind of nip back to earlier stuff? And
well, you can.
No, I mean, I'm sure somebody was saying like it's quite difficult to kind of see where you've been.
Well, I've only kind of advanced maybe 6 or 7 galaxies so far. Like I'm still I'm exploring every planet. I'm taking like half an hour to an hour on every planet, wandering about and seeing what I can find. So I'm not progressing very fast, so I'm not that far away from anything at the moment. So for me, it's not really been an issue. It seems like, I believe the galaxies you've been to are marked, so you can see which ones you've been to.
Okay.
And you just a matter of tracing it back as when you're gone. You've still got to make the trip between each thing, and it costs fuel to kind of do that between the galaxies. But like for me, it's not been a problem, but I've not progressed that far yet, so I might not be the one to ask. I tell you what I did find, speaking of multiplayer, I found my first planet that had been discovered by someone else the other day. It was discovered by, they hadn't renamed it, it was just a planet name, but it was discovered by Cumpizzle.
Really?
Yeah, Cumpizzle.
You see, my favourite planet that I saw named on, I think it was on a Twitch stream, where somebody named the planet Fast and Furious, but motorcycle. Which I thought was
I like that.
The best planet name ever.
But like, if you like finding stuff and giving stuff funny names, and exploring and just kind of filling out a bestiary, that sort of thing. If you're into that kind of game where you're sort of filling out like, oh, like there's 8 monsters in this planet, right? I'm going to find them.
I nearly said, does that not wear thin? But it's you.
No, completely. And to be honest, Laura enjoys it as well. We've sort of she's had a few goes on it as well, and we've sort of taken turns, and she's kind of ran around on a few planets as well, and we've says, right, save that. I need that to upgrade, but you can sell the rest. Like, okay, cool.
It seems very much Laura's bag, and I think that
it is.
The only real shame in that regard is that you've not got 2 tellies and 2 PlayStations, because
And it's not multiplayer.
Yeah. No, it's not. That's not what I'm meaning. I'm meaning that it sounds like the sort of thing that you could both play at the same time and just enjoy independently. From
but we've been sort of playing it on the sofa and just sort of taking turns. And like, I've watched her and she's been watching me, and I think it's more fun to play than to watch. Like, I definitely conked out asleep for a bit while she was playing. I think she's conked out asleep while I was playing. It's not as interesting when it's not you in control, because you can't kind of go over there, go over there, go over there, because it will annoy the person playing.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things to go over there and see. Like, it's just a matter of where your own brain takes you to look around. But yeah, like the basic loop of it is good. It's fine. I don't like the combat in the game, so I kind of like that it's not really a priority. It's not really very tight after your Destinies and your Dooms. Like, it's not tight, and the space combat is fucking wank. It is a bag of jizz in space, just floating around, all kind of zero grav, getting in your face. It's not nice. It's bad. Like, the space combat is bad. I've never successfully survived a single space fight so far. They just fly around you and they kill you. And while I think my ship isn't bad, like, I've got good guns and good lasers and reasonable shields, but I just can't put it together. Whether that's me not getting something, or whether that's me, being bad at it, or whether it is just bad, I don't know. Because again, I've not really been consuming other people's media about the game. I've just been relying on my own experiences. I've not really been reading many articles, because, oh boy howdy, if you want to read an article about No Man's Sky, just go to any website and they have 400 ready for you right now. Fuck off,
Yeah, but I think with such a huge dichotomy between the people that really like it and the people that believe that they were sold a lie, those people are always going to read stuff.
But it's Destiny again. It's the same thing. You remember when Destiny was out and it was like, here's 18 articles a day about... here's how to do this one thing, an entire article's all to itself. Like, no, I understand you've got to get your clicks, but it drives me crazy.
No. But you get the best on those Destiny articles with people going like, oh, another Destiny article, they say in the comments.
Yeah.
Having clicked on it and read it. If you're not interested in Destiny, just don't click on it.
It's just one of those catch-22 lion eating its tail things. It just drives me crazy. It's just, I can't deal.
Gonna help, mate?
I can't deal. I know everyone's got to be first these days, but I just can't deal.
First.
Oh. See, you've already beat me to it.
Yeah.
Oh. So yeah, No Man's Sky, it's alright, but if you like more of an active game, it's probably not for you. Like an active game, like, have you played Doom yet? How much Doom have you played?
I want to do a show on Doom.
Fuck!
So I'm not talking to you about that, because I've had this in my head for a little while, and I think it'd be really good.
Okay.
So
I'll hold off my Doom quotes then. But that's all the games I've played, really. Like, I haven't played really anything else of substance at all.
I thought you were playing Mass Effect.
I got half an hour to... Oh, no, that's probably a lie. I've got about 2 hours in, and then No Man's Sky came out, and then it's gone on the back burner.
Okay.
I have some thoughts on it, but nothing too concrete yet, so we'll save that for another time.
Right, I'm going to talk about me then.
Talk about you.
Okay, a me thing. Because I asked the question tonight, but obviously, like, way too late, because we decided on the fly we were going to actually do this thing.
Okay.
And I asked the question. And
what was the question? I know it, but what was the question?
Okay. The question, this isn't the way that it was phrased on Twitter, but it's in my notes here. So, films you saw once that you either disliked or thought were okay, and then clicked with them massively on a second repeated viewing. What brought you back to watch them again, and what kind of clicked that time when it didn't originally?
I hope you have an answer, because I absolutely do not have an answer to this. I've been thinking about it all after, like, since you put it up, I've been thinking about this question. I don't have an answer.
There's no film that you've seen once, maybe at the cinema, and just gone kind of like, and then you've watched it again and gone, God, I really like this.
No, because I'm right. When I don't like something, I just don't like it. Like, I can't think of any film that I can think of a couple of games, sure, but I can't think of films that I've seen and then watched again and thought, oh, that was much better than I remember it being. Like,
there are no films that you've seen that you've not become kind of bamboo about. Like,
nothing I can remember. Nothing,
really?
Honestly, nothing. I've had a look at my DVD shelf and I stared at it for a few minutes and nothing jumped out. Absolutely nothing. Like, if I don't like a film, I just probably won't watch it again.
Okay.
Because my time is very precious. You see, my time is very precious.
A few people have responded to this first
good.
before I kick in with mine. Firstly, a very cool lady called Noor, and I've chatted with her in Holly Bennett's Twitch streams. Very nice person indeed. And she listened to the podcast the other day, completely out of the blue, and she was like, "Oh, I'm listening to this. I'm laughing already." I was like, "That's really cool. Thanks."
Cool. Hi.
And she really enjoyed the podcast, which was ace. So I kind of put this towards Noor and asked her. So she said, I remember watching Ran when I was in my early teens. I hated it. I found the actors ridiculous with their exaggerated expressions and pretty poor makeup. I didn't understand it and fell asleep a couple of times while watching it. I recently rewatched it and suddenly all came together. The beautiful and dreamy cinematography and the pathos Haditora. The lack of smoothness and polish that I disliked before actually became a positive. War and betrayal is ugly, and seeing the bodies lying everywhere during one of the battle scenes hit me in a way that many over-sentimentalized war films haven't. The makeup became a way that age and loss were physically drawn on Hidetora's face as he watches everything he loved and conquered burn all around him. Lastly, its refusal to give any of the good characters a happy ending was brave and inspired. Ran is proof that Shakespeare speaks a universal language, and this is the best adaptation of King Lear probably ever. I've not heard of that, and I've not seen it.
I've never heard of that.
I will check it out. But thank you, Noor. Thank you very much indeed. We also had a response on Damn Twits.
Yeah.
This is me being a phone man. Doot, doot, pressing the button.
Bleep, bloop.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Truncate silence. Oh, and I'm there already. I'm not. I can't press buttons.
I'm not truncating. I'm not truncating a single piece of silence. That's not how we do. I will not edit. You will not make me.
I've done it. I've done it. Boop,
bleep,
boop.
I'm just gonna find this response. Found it.
Boop. You died at 6shooter on Twitter said, I don't know why, but I hated the Shawshank Redemption the first time round. Watched again, and it's just the greatest.
Ooh, do you know what? I've actually never seen that film. There's quite a few films like that I've got in the never watched it pile. Some of them I don't watch because I'm kind of worried I won't like them, and they're like cult films that you're supposed to like. Not, you know what I mean? Like, you don't like that? Ugh. Just the other day, Laura's not seen Trainspotting, and we keep meaning to watch it, and it's been 3 years, and we just haven't got around to it. Because the new one, Trainspotting 2, got announced, didn't it? Sorry, T2.
Trainspotting
T2 Judgment Day. And yeah, she's like, oh, cool, we should watch that. What do you mean you haven't watched it? And I forget every time as well.
Would that be Drugsment Day?
Oh my God!
I don't know.
God. Arnold Schwarzenegger's thumb disappearing down a toilet.
There we go. Buy your tickets.
Fuck, that writes itself.
Because you see,
come with me if you want some drugs.
Are you alright?
I'm good, sorry.
Good. Because you see, the film that brought this to mind for me is linked to you a little bit.
Right. Linked to me?
So yeah, and I saw it a little while ago and just thought it was all right, and I'd had a hankering kind of to watch it again, and it'd been in the back of my mind, and then I saw it on Amazon Instant Video. I was like, yeah, tonight, you know, sometimes you just go, I'd really like to watch that. I'll save that to my list, and you just don't come back to it, like you were saying with Trainspotting. Yeah. This was one of those where I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch this tonight. I am in the mood right now. This is getting played right now.
Yep.
And I've often said on this podcast that Western cinema music is rubbish. That you remember the theme tune to Star Wars and to Superman and to Jaws and all those sort of things. But what's the theme to the Avengers? And what's the theme to the Fantastic Four? And what's because most of the time they're just hidden under gunfire and explosions and it's just rubbish.
Chop a couple of Inception horns in and we're done.
I actually think this has one of the greatest pieces of theme music that I've heard in Western cinema for a while, and I'm going to ask you to play it now. You'll obviously know if you're listening to this, because the music will have played and you'd have gone, oh, it's Pacific Rim.
What is it?
Pacific Rim.
Oh, okay. Wait. Oh, yeah.
I watched Pacific Rim the first time and thought it was all right. Do you remember we had like a bit of a back and forth because
bit of 2 and 8.
Yeah, because you really liked Pacific Rim, and I really liked the Godzilla remake.
Yes,
and we were both on different sides of the fence on that. But yeah, I put this on the other night, and that first watch I wasn't fussed. Never really been much of a fan of Del Toro's. Hellboy and Pan's Labyrinth kind of washed over me. I really disliked Hellboy 2, and presume this was just another case of a director that I didn't click with. But I've always liked my big robots. I like my Evangelions and my Razafons and my Fafners and stuff. So there's definitely a connection there for me to glom onto in the first place. It's just that in this last year, tokusatsu has become kind of crazy important to me.
It's filled that hole, hasn't it?
It has. I see a lot of big robots now, partly because they're the staple that ends most episodes of Super Sentai and Ultraman. And Del Toro's a really big Ultraman fan as well, because they named a planet after him in Ultraman X, and somebody pointed out to him, and he was made up. So I've watched kind of Godzilla documentaries and people that put all the live action with special effects together and fall in love with all the direction, and that's even taken me back to long lost love of Ray Harryhausen films and all the stuff that then connects to Souls. So yeah, I've been thinking about watching this a fair bit, as I was saying. But I just proper adored it, going all the way through and knowing where it was going even, and it was just really clicking, like ticking like loads of boxes as I went along. Couldn't get the main theme out of my head. I went and bought the bloody thing on Blu-ray just so I could listen to the director's commentary. And I can't quite get it out of my head. I know there are a couple of graphic novels as well as this kind of rather juicy looking art book. Graphic novels are written by the same guy that wrote Pacific Rim as well, and he's writing the sequel.
Oh, cool.
Travis Beacham, I think is the guy's name. I'm a bit smitten with it, and I'll have that John Boyega's starring sequel right now, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so like I say, Beacham's writing the sequel. But
cool.
Yeah, I really, really loved it.
I'm glad. I'm really glad you've come around on it. Like, because it was legitimately like my favourite film the year it came out. Like, it was the film that 12-year-old me would have like murdered someone to see.
Oh yeah.
12-year-old me was like, yeah, he picked up a boat and he hit the thing with it. Yeah.
Is that how you spoke?
12-year-old me was really cool.
Yeah. God, what happened?
Yeah. It's your boy. Yeah, no, I'm sitting in the cinema like a literally giggling like a child, poking Laura, going, "Look, he hit him with a boat." Like, it's everything I wanted it to be. Like, big robot, big monster, suitably grand, things going on. Like, proper film.
Because that theme is fantastic in the film as well. That no. It's awesome. And is it Ramin Djawadi?
Ooh.
Sorry.
You know, I could have just edited this in.
I know. It's dirty.
Yeah.
I was clicking on my my Amazon Prime list because the soundtrack's on there to find out if it just how to say Ramin Djawadi, but the song came on.
Like,
Professional. Okay. Truncate silence. Truncate twat. I did find out today that he's doing the music for Gears of War 4.
Wow.
Which and then I thought, why is he not done more video game music? Because he's really good. I mean, I know he's got his Game of Thrones and all that kind of jizzizzle, but yeah, I really like it, and I'm looking forward to that documentary a fair bit, and Del Toro's commentary and stuff. So
good stuff.
You say you've been watching stuff or reading stuff?
I've been reading stuff. I bought a book the other day.
What?
Bought a book from a.
I'll never catch on.
I know, right? I bought a book. We were wandering around our local shops, and there's quite a lot of secondhand bookshops. And Laura found one and pointed it out. And you know, like you see something, you're like, yeah, I need to read that. Do you remember when I told you I bought a book called Satan's World?
No.
I bought a book called Satan's World.
Why? How?
Because it was called Satan's World. It was about.
I should have known.
Yeah, there was a man who was a dragon, who was 4 foot tall and dragon-like, a feline catwoman, and another guy who was a daredevil rake hell from space. I'm like, well, I'm buying this. Of course I'm buying this. And it was all right. It was a good book. But it's happened again. I'm going to read you the blurb on the back because it was great.
After the previous book, it sounds like the sort of thing that would be sent to you to sway you into the world of Scientology.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Now,
in a good
Tom
way.
Cruise is your best friend and sending you televisions.
If you imagine the main character as Tom Cruise,
yeah,
the dragon is Tom Cruise. The book we picked up by an author called H. Beam Piper, and the book is called Gunpowder God. Okay. Let me read you the thing on the back. Okay. This is in big capitals. Paratime Blowback!
What?
The Paratime Police patrolled the vast number of alternate time dimensions, the world which had branched off at every crucial point in history. Their job was to keep the existence of the alternate Earths a secret, and to keep them from mixing and destroying each other. But even the time cops could make mistakes. They made a big one when Calvin Morrison, an apparently ordinary state trooper from the 4th level Europo-American Hispano-Colombian subsector, was accidentally switched through the dimensions into the Ariane Trans-Pacific sector, Stiphen's House subsector. In a few weeks, Morrison was being hailed as Lord Calvan. Even worse, he was masterminding a local war that could blow the whole Paratime secret sky high.
ZOMFG.
And then I bought it. And
it sounds way up your street.
Honestly,
the only way that could be more up your street is if it came with a free cowboy hat, pair of chaps, and some leopard skin underpants.
Let me just. Well, actually, the book on the cover, he's dressed up in like Roman-looking gear, but the pants are a little bit leopard.
There we go.
Let me just open it. Oh, the cowboy hat just fell out. Yep, there it is. Yep, there it is. Yep, I've put the hat on. I'm wearing a hat. But yeah, I've not read it yet. It just the title made me laugh, and the blurb on the back made me laugh even more. Paratime Blowback in big letters. Paratime Blowback. What does that even mean? I'm intrigued.
And it's good.
I don't know. I haven't read it yet.
What?
Because I'm in the middle of something else.
What? A podcast.
Yeah, and the book. I am about halfway through the Dark Tower.
Oh, right, okay.
Book
what, the
4.
first? Oh, right, okay, book 4.
Wizard and Glass, which is the 4th book in the 7-book series. It's fucking weird, man. It's weird, and I really like it, and it's weird. And I don't
also a nice segue because Idris Elba is starring in the TV show and was in Pacific Rim. Badoomf. It's almost like we planned it out. We didn't.
Good work. But yeah, I've been kind of delving in. I've been kind of doing it one off, one on. Like I've been reading a Dark Tower book, then reading something else, then going back to Dark Tower, then going back to something else. So I'm trying to kind of keep a balance of books going at the moment. I don't want to splurge.
How's that going?
It's all right. It's all right. It means I can kind of dip in and out of stuff and get a good healthy chunk, but without overkill, because there's 7 big books. I mean, the one I'm reading at the minute, Wizard and Glass, is like 850 pages. Like it's not a quick read.
Beef.
It's an easy read. Like it reads really well. Like it's written in quite an easy to read style. It's not like Lord of the Rings or Dune where you're sitting there going, "Fuck is a Kwisatz Haderach? Come on, give me a second. Let me work this out." Like no, it's written really easy. You know, it's quite easy to understand. Really good characters, really good stuff happening. I feel like to talk about it would be to ruin it.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And I know we have a couple of listeners that have been reading it at the minute. I know we have one particular listener who's a massive fan, Chris. Tweet me. I understand your PSN name now. Just read that as you will. But yeah, man, they're really, really fucking good. Like, they're sort of alternate, out west, post-apocalyptic, but not magic, wizard, sort of gunslinger, cowboy, dimensional world type books. They're very meta as well. They're very meta. Yeah, like, it's hard to talk about because I'm only halfway through, and I don't know where. I can feel where it's going, but I don't know if I'm right about where it's going.
On a slight Stephen King tip, I feel very much the same way about Stranger Things, which I hadn't got in my notes, but is
I've not watched it yet.
The chuffing greatest thing since sliced bread, and I often wonder, you know, when shows come on Netflix like Daredevil, like people just watch them all within about like 2 days, 4 days, a week or whatever, and everybody that's interested in it will be watching that show, and then it's kind of done. I'd imagine if you're looking at stats on Netflix's system, that you just see like this uber binge, and then things go kind of drift off. The weird thing is with Stranger Things that people watch it, obsess about it, then go to people, caps lock on, you have to watch it. And then those people kind of go and start watching it, and then they become obsessed, and they have this haunted look in their eye because they've gotten to like episode 4 or something. Or like my friend Titch at work had just watched episode 1 when I started talking about it at work, and then I got a text from her later that night, and she watched the next 7 hours once she'd gotten in from work, just like gone all the way through them. And again, those people then go, you get a push and a folks going, what's this? And I'm like, oh, Stranger Things on next week. Caps lock on. You have to watch it. And then those people tell more people. And I just imagine that there's this kind of, advertising marketing speak, that there's this tail that just keeps on going with the show. And they obviously, without wanting to spoil anything, it's sort of set in the 80s. And it's very much got the sort of touchstones of old sort of Stand By Me and Stephen King stuff, and probably a little bit Goonies and Monster Squad in there, and old like classic horror films and stuff, but not done in a in a similar sort of shitey way like J.J. Abrams' Super 8, which was an atrocious film. But it's got everything that made those things special, like the degree of heart and camaraderie between the kids, and supremely watchable. They even got a band called Survive from Austin who just did old synth type soundtracks that sound like they could have been sort of from an old sort of horror or something from back then, using analog synths and stuff. The music in the TV series means something, that it's not just tipped in hits, that the songs are expertly woven in and matter to what's going on screen, and it's magnificent. But I've not seen this level of obsession with regards to artwork that's being created afterwards, and articles, and it's even one thing that I saw the other day which said like Stranger Things bad boy Steve Harrington is the drummer in a psychedelic rock band, and they're really good. And like there are all these like little articles that are flying out, and even sort of what seem like like smaller characters that people are still really holding on to. It's a bit special, and it is, especially with the Stephen King connection. It's something that I'd really, really like to talk to you about on a podcast, because I think, you get the references. Stephen King's been really great about it on Twitter. I think he said that it comes across as Stephen King's greatest hits, and he says, "No, I mean that in the best way possible." So he's loved it. And I saw, is it Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad?
Yes,
was on Jimmy Fallon the other night, and he was saying about how much he loved it. And Jimmy Fallon's like, "Oh yeah, we're getting the kids on here soon." And Aaron Paul's like, "When?" He's like, "Oh, I think next week. I think." He was like, "Can I come?" So like Aaron Paul is going to turn up when the kids from Stranger Things are on Jimmy Fallon, because he's such a nerd for the show. It was passed over by 15 networks before Netflix said yes. And Aaron Paul was saying that he saw the lookbook, the pitch book that had been given to the networks, and he was like, "It's incredible." So yeah, it's really good, but I so want to chat with you about it, and I hadn't, just in general, because I thought you'd enjoy it, but now seeing the Stephen King stuff that you're delving into, it seems like a nice little smish.
It does seem the similar sort of style of that sort of thing. I am still a bit behind on my shows, and we're trying to burn through and finish shows before we watch any new ones at the moment. So we are burning through, but we will get there.
It's only 7 or 8 episodes, I think.
Okay,
so,
that's not too bad.
It's not that long, but it just is great, and just join the clamour for people that are just obsessing about it.
I will get there.
It is neat.
I will get there.
I have a telly show.
Okay.
I have seen because Amazon are doing a thing called Pilot Season at the minute,
right?
Where I think they've got 3 or 4 potential new shows, and they're seeing what people think of the first episodes before they get the green light.
Right.
And I watched The Tick.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
It tells the tale of a young boy called Arthur, a man with certain difficulties in the modern day, which may be linked to a supervillain happening when he was a kid. His obsession with refusing to let it go brings him into contact with the Tick, a larger-than-life, seemingly invulnerable superhero who appears to be a wee bit bonkers with it. I watched the cartoon back in the day, don't remember it too well, really enjoyed it though, and didn't watch the Patrick Warburton live-action one when that was around previously. This take seems really grounded in the real world, with the contrasting fantastical elements coming across as funny, weird, terrifying, and with that huge paint box of colours, it just feels like anything could happen. It's very well written. There's some tremendously funny lines, and Peter Serafinovich appears to be channeling more than a little Adam West in his portrayal of the Tick. Biggest compliment I can pay it is that it puts me in mind in tone of Grant Morrison's Flex Mantello, which is one of the greatest anything's ever, never mind graphic novels. It's fabulous. I want more. I need more. Everybody in it's brilliant. The writing's ace. Please, Amazon, need. So
it looks good. It looks great. It looks. I mean, I've seen bits of the cartoon, not much, but I've seen bits of the cartoon and loved what I saw. Like, it's exactly the kind of jokes that I like as well.
It seems like I say, that contrast of the real world with the fantastical is really unnerving, but I like it. There's real substance in there, which I like, and some of the there's a line in it which I think is fantastic where, and I've not been able to stop giggling at this. Like, Arthur rings up his sister who works as a nurse in an ambulance. And there's this cry in the background. She says, "I've got to go. Someone new is bleeding." Which I loved. But it's great. It's really good. Well worth watching.
Nice. I've watched a few telly shows as well.
Tell me one of them.
I've finished Shokugeki no Soma, Food Wars, finally.
Okay.
We shelved it for a bit because we kind of just drifted away, but we've the last few days just powered through the last few episodes of the season. That show still is very good, and it makes you very hungry. It is a fuck of a show, because you're watching it and they're making all these beautiful linguinis and curries and omelettes and like other things, and it's just food porn
It's legitimate food porn. And sure, when they make them eat the food, they go all kind of naked and dream sequency and like, oh, it feels like some angels are scattering me with confetti, and there's also a whale in the background, and they're splashing because of the texture of the beetroot. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they really oversell a metaphor when they can. But that's like, but it's quite. The characters in it are really, really good. Like, they're nice people, and like you want to see them all do well. And there's even like, while they're sort of fighting to do the best dish, it still feels like a friendly competition for the most part. There's a few characters that are complete dickheads, but like everyone sort of seems there to kind of, you know, trying to outdo each other, but like not in a bad way. And like the main character, Yukihira, is like so cheerful and like, yep, looking forward to having a fight with you. Yep, brilliant. Oh, well done. When someone else gets like a good score on their meal, like, oh, well done. That was really good. I think.
But I like that about the initial D live action movie, which obviously is like a bit Fast and the Furious, but everybody seems to be kind of really into racing, and if somebody goes faster than them or beats them, it's like, oh, I'll get you next time, but not in a way of how dare you, as in like you raced really well, I want to outrace you next time. And I really dug that. It made me interested in the other characters and not just the main ones.
Yeah,
the ones that you're told you're supposed to like.
But like, even like the bit characters, like in this one, they get their due. You know, they get their moment in the sun. Like, oh, they did a good thing. Like the quiet ones that you don't see much of, and then they turn up at the end and get like a stupid score on their final dish. Like, well, how did they? What? Okay. But yeah, it's a really, really good show. It's really fun. Like, and if you can get past the sexy time food orgasms, if you can get on with them, then you've probably got a nice little show. And the second season started now. It's about 9 episodes in, but we're gonna break off and finish a couple other things, and then come back. Like we're gonna finish off JoJo. JoJo. I've got the second season intro as my ringtone right now. And that's how it wakes me up as well in the morning. It's beautiful. We're back in JoJo as well. We've hit the second half of the third season of the Stardust Crusaders season, when the intro cutscene changes. Cutscene. The intro video changes, and they're now in Egypt, and they're trying to hunt down Dio, which is all capital letters. You have to say it with capital letters. Dio is all capitals, and it's really kind of picked up a bit. I was kind of drifting a little while with it because it was starting to get a bit monster of the week. And while I like the characters, like I still don't really like this JoJo. Like Jotaro JoJo isn't that interesting because he's quite boring and he's very kind of doesn't say a lot. He's kind of grumpy. He's kind of goes, good grief, or sorry, yare ware, which is good grief. But you've got Joseph Joestar, who is...
I was surprised at how much that tickled me.
Thanks. You've got Joseph Joestar, who's his granddad, who was the star of the second series, the Battle Tendency series, who's now older. But he'll be chatting, and every now and again he'll throw in like an English kind of explosion of words. Like they'll be chatting away, and he'll go, "Oh my god!" and "Holy shit!" It's amazing. Because you never see them coming, and there's this chat and I go, "Oh no!"
I remember watching a football game, and there was I was watching a stream of it, and it was a foreign commentary, and the ref pulled out a yellow card, and the commentator just went like, "Come here, please, it's for you."
I love it. But yeah, JoJo, it's picked back up again now. Like the monster of the week, so it sort of still is kind of enemy of the week, but the characters are so interesting, I don't mind. Oh, and I saw an amazing theory as to why the main Jotaro doesn't speak a lot on Twitter today. The theory was that all the characters in it, because there are a couple of them from Japan, there's a French guy in it called Polnareff, who's my favourite, but they're kind of like quite a multinational squad. And the theory is they're all speaking English, but Jotaro doesn't know much English.
Okay.
Because he's supposed to only be like 18, even though he's the size of a house. The theory is he doesn't know much English, which is why he just kind of says, no, to everyone and just doesn't talk much, which I think is quite a nice theory, you know. But no, it remains fun, and the stands are always interesting, and I still want my own Star Platinum behind me, throwing fists forever.
The intro cutscene from the first half. Cutscene, fuck me, again. From the first half of the series ends with his stand, Star Platinum, just punching and punching and punching and punching while he stands there looking grumpy, while he punches around him. Like, I want that. I want that for my life. I just want fists flying forever with the noise behind it, because it makes me laugh every time they do it. And now there's a dog in the show who's small and bites people's hair and farts on them.
What more can you want?
The dog also has a stand.
Fair play.
It's a weird show. It's hard to explain why it's good. You just have to watch it. This third series, it's dragged a bit in the middle, but it's picked back up again. And I actually cannot wait to get to Dio now. I'm so excited. Give me Dio, but I'm 20 episodes away from the end now, so there's still a while. Fuck. You watched any more telly?
This is some stuff that picked up last week and kind of erased memories of exploding marker pots and slugs on my leg and breaking old iPhones. With some Ace Tokusatsu stuff that kicks in. One of my favourite things about Tokusatsu is how it celebrates its lineage. No one's forgotten. If there's a good idea for a movie or a series of specials, if the actors are up for it, it's a go. That's why the likes of the crossover movies are such a joy. And that Kamen Rider 3 movie that I mentioned ages ago is still like the most watched movie that I've had in the last probably decade. Even in the last year, I've watched it so many times. But yeah, even like Kamen Rider Drive, which finished in 2014, is still getting new movies and new adventures and stuff, which I kind of dig. But one of those shows that I mentioned previously was Space Sheriff Gavan.
Right, okay.
Which is an 80s telly show, which had a reboot a few years back. Except the original Gavan was still around alongside and independent of the new lad. And one of my favourite plot twists ever was when the original Gavan was kidnapped, thrown in an impenetrable prison in the Maku dimension. No way to find him. No way. Nobody comes back from the Maku dimension, except they find two characters from different series that the same actor has played and used them to open up a portal to the Maku dimension, which was just amazing. And that then at the end they were like, we do all quite look alike, don't we? And then one of the characters just went, we all transformed together. And they just stood at the top of these stairs and all transformed as the various characters, which was just fab. So a number of movies, crossovers, spin-offs, and then stuff went quiet. And on the same day as the Dark Souls 3 trailer came out, there was an announcement of a new Space Sheriff Gavan movie, this time crossing over with 2006's Super Sentai Deca Ranger. It's been 10 years. Let's just put them in a film with Space Sheriff Gavan.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. That's great. That makes me happy. Because again, it'll just be a number of characters that I've not seen before. I'll just go, you're really cool, right? I'll start watching your films and series and stuff. Then, Super Sentai is having its 2000th ever episode in September.
Jesus Christ.
And he's set to cross the currently running 40th anniversary show, 40 years of Super Sentai, which is Dobutsu Sentai Zoo Ogres, which I've mentioned previously, the folks that transform into animals and back again and things. And they're crossing them with the 35th anniversary show, Kazoku Sentai Gokaigers. It's like, fucking hell. And it's the first time like all of the Gokaigers have been back together since their series and movies finished. And like the lead actor, the guy that plays Captain Marvelous, was saying that the point where we all stood together in a line ready to transform again, he says, I got chills. He says, I'd never ever forget what this means to me, and if anything it's become more so now we're all lined up again. So expect some very flamboyant transformations because we're really loving being back. I was like, that's awesome. That's just really, really cool. So I think it's there's 2 episodes in September, like 1900, like 1999 and 2000 are going to be Gokaiger crossovers, which is pretty ace. But like Gokaigers was the show whereby at the start of it, all of the Super Sentai characters put their powers together and sent out this big beam into space, which stopped this invading armada on Earth. And the Gokaigers were a group of pirates that had a massive treasure chest full of keys, and these keys had the powers of individual Super Sentai people, and they could put them like into the phones and turn them and basically become the characters, like have the powers and costumes and stuff like the previous Super Sentai characters, which was pretty cool because you're celebrating a 35th anniversary as they were then. You're essentially looking back at the entire lineage and using those powers, like again in the modern day, which is pretty cool. But the song that was on the end of it had in its lyrics references to all of the previous Super Sentai shows. And at the end of these episodes between the Zoo-Ogres and the Go-Kaigers, they've re-recorded that song and added in the 5 extra shows that have been since the last one. That's attention to detail. That's so cool. But I'm really excited about it, and that level of nerd just makes me giddy because it's just built on happiness. It's not built on we should do this because I believe the reports say this, or it's just built on happiness. Fuck's sake, with the Space Sheriff Gavan moving, they're bringing back the Deca Ranger characters from 10 years ago. Happy as Larry about that. And the original Gavan is now the new Gavan's boss in the Intergalactic Space Police.
Okay.
Which is fab.
Cool.
All about
that. A lot of that bounced off my head. But it sounds interesting.
Was I going too enthusiastically and fast?
No, it was the speed was fine. But no, it sounds great. If I knew what more of those words were.
Yeah, I'll have to show you some of this stuff because I think that a lot of getting into tokusatsu is down to accepting the odd trope here and there, and for the most part anyway, because a lot of them are kids shows and stuff. But the nice thing is that they'll bring back characters from like the ones that your dad or your granddad used to watch, or and they'll bring in these cameos with actors that were from the past and the modern day, so they can say, oh, that's my Ultraman, or and I kind of dig that. But
it's like wrestling in that regard.
Yeah, I think that would probably be a touchstone for the goofier stuff for you, because it's I don't know, they seem to be doing things to entertain people and make people smile, and we were talking about comfortable games, I guess. There's been points, especially in the last year or so, where when I've sat down in front of a movie, I've just wanted to be entertained and want to be made to smile, and these things they radiate the same kind of cool and happiness that I got out of comics when I was a kid. Just no ideas thrown out, and that's pretty neat, my guy. So
yeah, boy.
Yeah. I'm done.
Have I got anything else? No, I haven't.
No,
I have, but it's a bit of a bummer, so let's not do that.
Yeah, because I'm leaving something else out as well, because I think one hour or so is 1 hour 41, 42.
It's reasonable.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's quite a short show.
To unwrap.
I've got a telly. It's looking at me. I can see its ambi-like goodness in the box.
Right, say goodbye, you dirty beast.
Goodbye, you dirty beast.
More Twin Humanity soon, but thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye.